Baruchot habaot, ladies, and welcome to another edition of our weekly Torah sessions. I want to thank you so much for logging on, whether you're logging on to Torah Anytime or to ohelsara.com. I truly admire your efforts. You're always making your efforts and taking the time to enrich and enhance your life with divrei chizuk and even tochacha you're willing to accept. So I'm so proud of all of you women who, despite your busy schedules, you're still finding the time to log on and to hear words of Torah that I know that you absorb and that affect you. We are now just days away from Tisha B'Av, one of the saddest days on the Jewish calendar. And we are in a time period where quite often we discuss the tragedies and the sadness that befell our people all those years ago and still does befall us today. You know that unfortunately, living in this galut, if you really want to be real about it, people don't feel that this is galut. Think about what happened 2,000 years ago, the Churban, the destruction, the lives that were taken. You don't even have to go that far. Just think 60 years ago, during the times of World War II, Nazi occupation, what happened there with the Jewish people. Or during the times of the Inquisition, just 500 years ago. Am Yisrael has been in a galut. And unfortunately, in this modern day and era, with cell phones and computers and social media and the comfort of the house, wherever you are in the world, it is very hard to understand and to know and even to feel that you are in a state of galut. However, even with all the materialism that the Satan has inflicted us with and surrounded us with, that doesn't make it easy for us to feel the Churban, to feel the destruction here in this lifetime, in this generation. But still, if we look around, we see that there are so many Jewish people, so many families, so many individuals that are suffering. They are suffering emotionally, they are suffering physically, they're suffering from dilemmas in life. Whether it's the shidduchin crisis, whether it's illnesses, whether it's tragedies that have befallen them in their own personal life. This is the state of galut. And, you know, this is the time, ladies, where we talk about the kinot and the Churban Bet HaMikdash. You know, interestingly, Rabbi Nachman alav hashalom points out that the word kinot contains the same letters as the word tikkun, which means that as long as you still have the ability to mourn the loss, to feel the lacking of all those items in life that are yet to be fulfilled, yet to be accomplished, it means that you are a woman who still has hope and you have not yet surrendered. You are a woman who isn't yet in a state of despair. You're not in that state of Yeush. The woman who sinks into a deep state of Yeush, into a deep state of despair, no longer merits to shed tears. You gave up. Tears of wanting, tears of yearning. You know, very soon you're going to read the opening words of Megillat Echa, which depicts the sad state of Yerushalayim. Echa yashva badad. And when you look at these three sad words, the saddest of them all is not the word Echa, or even the word Badad, but rather the word Yashva. Yashva means to sit. A person who surrenders to his challenging life, and he sits, so to speak. Yoshev, when you give up, and you lay yourself down in defeat, you are no longer allowing your dreams to be fulfilled. You're no longer giving yourself the ability to rise from your challenge. The Megillah states, Hi yashva bagoim, lo matzah manoach. She settled among the nations and found no rest. The Midrash explains that it's a great chesed that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does with you, where you don't find rest. You don't find manoach, specifically in the place that isn't noach for you, that isn't comfortable, in that place of life where you're just not sitting right, so to speak. It just doesn't sit right with you. And that means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want you to feel comfortable in that state of inactiveness in your life. The moment you sit, Eicha Yashva, you have resolved yourself to the idea that your life may never be complete. You may just have given up. So often, the rabbis encourage us to accept that which is currently lacking in our life. We have to accept it, b'shlemut, with ahava, to be grateful for the things in life that we don't possess. We're constantly being told that. But during the 9 days, we're told that this isn't the time to accept and to surrender oneself to His life. Now is not the time to accept your reality, but rather to ask from HaKadosh Baruch Hu that He complete your reality. What does that mean? Ask from HaKadosh Baruch Hu that He should fulfill all of your requests and bring to life all the dreams that you conjured up in your mind of a perfect home, of a complete and happy home. Daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to see, Be'ezrat Hashem, and to experience and to witness a binyan shalem, a complete home in Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh, with the Bet HaMikdash, and your home with your bait. What is a bait? And what's the significance of reciting the words Sheibaneh Bet HaMikdash Meher B'Yamenu? We always say that. When we request that a home should be built, we're in essence asking that there should be a direct link and a connection between us and the ultimate bait, which is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He is the home. He's the makom. We're asking that there should be a direct link and a connection between us and those who occupy the home. It's the type of connection that breeds closeness and an interpersonal bond, that when you express yourself, someone actually responds to you. Whether it's between you and your husband in your home, whether it's between you and your children in your bait, or whether it's between you and your maker, the Ribono Shel Olam, there's a comforting feeling that you feel when you know that someone is actually listening and responding. That is a perfect bait. That's the significance of a bait. It's also the significance of a bait ne'eman. And when the Romans unfortunately and sadly destroyed our bait and they burned it down to the ground, instead of a bait, Yerushalayim turned into a sadeh, into a field. The Navi Micha, alav shalom, laments this tragedy, and he says, Tzion sadeh techaresh, Yerushalayim shall be plowed as a field. What's the difference between a bait, a home, and a sadeh, a field? A bait, as we said earlier, personifies the intimacy, the connection, the interconnectedness of people, the expression and the response. There is a partnership in a bait. A field, however, is a vast and open place that personifies loneliness, specifically because of its open space. It's a feeling of aloneness. No one wants the life of an open field when they can have the intimacy, the relationship, and closeness of a home. Being in a field is a sad existence. And sitting in the open field and surrendering yourself to your life, where you give up and you say, oh, this is what Hashem probably wants for me. Hashem wants a life of loneliness. Hashem wants for me a life of sadness. That is the opposite of what Hashem wants. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to see you happy. He wants to see you in the comfort of your own bait, of your own home. He wants you to call out to him and say, Echa. What does this word imply? Echa. How could it be this way? It cannot be that all my dreams are no more. It can't be that all I envisioned for myself all these years is lost. This is a lesson to all of us, ladies. When we get to a place in life where we feel the most dejected, the most hopeless and forlorn, dafka in that place, which is symbolic of Tisha B'Av, that's the darkest place. And dafka chatzot of Tisha B'Av is where you'll feel it the most. From that place of despair on Tisha B'Av that sends us this sad feeling of hopelessness and despair that nothing will ever change, from that place you have the ability to see the Yeshua. Tisha B'Av. 9 is a very significant number in Yahadut, because in the 9th month, Tisha Chodashim Leleda, a baby is born. There's a story told in the Midrash of a man who was plowing his field with his cow. Suddenly the cow stopped dead in her tracks, sat on the ground, and she wouldn't continue to work. No matter what the man did, the cow just didn't move. Then an Aravi passed by and with his keen sense surveyed the scene, and he told the man, "You know why your cow stopped working? It's because at this very moment the Bet HaMikdash is being destroyed. And animals who have an acute sense of their surroundings, they can feel the loss and the sadness." When the man heard this, he fell down to the floor. He sat and he wept. "Oy, the Bet HaMikdash has been destroyed." Suddenly, the cow stood up and continued its work. And the man couldn't understand. What happened here? So he asked this Aravi, "Why did my cow suddenly get up?" And the Aravi said, "Because at this very moment, the Mashiach was born." So the man said, "Wow, what's his name?" And the Aravi said, "His name is Menachem ben Chizkiah." So the man was so happy that he said, "You know what? I'm right now going to stop plowing my field, and instead I'm going to go out and sell diapers. If until now we were a nation who worked the fields and we were busy plowing the Adamah and we were occupied with the materialism of this world and the daily routines, we must now, since the Mashiach was born, tend to the needs of the children." So the Aravi asked him, "But why are you going out to sell diapers of all things?" And the man said, "Because in this way, women with infants will seek me out, and then I'll be able to recognize which one of those infants is the Mashiach." And so it was that hundreds of women flocked to this man to purchase diapers. And as they did, the man asked each of those women, "What's your baby's name?" "Yitzchak." "And what's his name?" "Yosef." "And what's this little one's name over here?" "Yaakov." Finally, at the end of a long day, with no luck, the man noticed a woman in the distance with a baby who didn't look so clean, who didn't look tended to. He looked very neglected. And the man had pity on her, and he said, "You lady, you probably didn't have enough money to purchase the infant some diapers or even some food or attend to his needs, right? So please allow me to offer you some diapers free of charge. Clean him up." And the woman said, "Please, I don't want to even bathe this child. I have no cheshek to tend to this little baby." And the man asked, "But why?" And she said, "Because this baby brought such bad mazal to the world." So the man said, "How can you dare even speak in such a way?" And the mother said, "Of course I can say that, because at the moment that he was born, the Bet HaMikdash began to crumble and fall. So it's clear to me that this baby brings with him a bad mazal." And the man looked at this woman and he asked, "What's your baby's name?" And she said, his name is Menachem ben Chizkiah. The man couldn't believe his ears. And he told this woman, do you know who this baby is that you hold in your arms? He's the Mevaser Tov. He's the ultimate messenger of good. He's the Mashiach. He's the one who will herald in and announce the final redemption. How often as parents do we look at that one child and say, enough, I can't even look. I can't even tend to this child anymore. How much suffering can I endure as a result of his behavior? How many times am I meant to witness his indiscretions? How long do I have to look at his unhappy face and sad state? How will I be able to give him what he wants when I don't even know what it is he really needs? Why is he always looking so sad, so dejected? Why is he so angry? Ladies, Chachamim tell us that these children carry the burden of many challenges. It's the challenges of the current generation. As the generations progress into the future, children will be born with a burden they carry, and they will walk around with a downtrodden face and an unhappy disposition. And we wonder as parents, right? We say, well, why? What bad was ever done to this child? He grew up in such a good home. Chachamim tell us that the answer is very simple, but it's very deep. You see, these children are so far removed from the Bait, from the times of the Bet HaMikdash, from that Kedusha. They're called Rechokei Bet HaMikdash. And as the generations progress further and further away from the past, from the times of the Bet HaMikdash, these children feel more and more of the pain of that distance. You hear what I'm telling you? Our generation, yours and mine, is one step closer to the Bet HaMikdash than the generation that follows us. These children, without knowing, without understanding, their neshama feels the pain of that distance, of that rechuk. And we have to know that although we often see them in such a negative light, and we wonder, what's going to be with them? And how could we ever reach them? We have to know that they will be the messengers of redemption. So all these children need is love and the warm embrace of a mother. They need pampering. They need affection. Because these children are compared to the Shekhinah HaKadosha, to the divine presence. The Midrash tells us that when the Kohanim were sent out into the Galut after the destruction, Lo galta Shekhinah imahem, the Shekhinah did not accompany the Kohanim. When the Levi'im were sent out into the exile, we're told, Lo galta Shekhinah imahem, the Shekhinah did not accompany them either. But Yeladim shebeyerushalayim galu, when the children were sent out into the Galut, galta Shekhinah imahem, the Shekhinah accompanied them and remained with them throughout the Galut. Just as it says in Megillat Echa, Olaleha halchu shevi lifnei tsar. Her young children went into captivity before the enemy. Vayetze mibat Zion kol hadara. And gone is from the daughter of Zion all her splendor. Chachamim explained that the word hadara is the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah wanted to accompany these little children into the Galut. The Shekhinah wanted to give hope to these little children who will one day, in the era of Mashiach, sometime in the distant future, they will feel dejected and abandoned. These are the children who will one day, Be'ezat Hashem, beseech the Ribono Shel Olam for the Geula. These are the children who may one day surprise us all and decide they want to build a real Bait, a home that's built on the foundations of truth, Torah, and mitzvot. We're told, Al tikri banaich ela bonaich. Do not call them your children, rather your builders. Because it's these children who have been left behind, who feel this great sense of sadness. They were the ones who will one day help to build and rebuild the ultimate bayit. Therefore, we're told to love them and to daven for them. Dafka an Tisha b'av. Esa Kadosh Baruch Hu. Exactly the words that are written in the Megillah. Eicha teshapechna avnei kodesh berosh kol chutzot. How can it be that the holy stones are scattered at the head of every street? These children who have lost their way, who feel the burden of life and they're challenged by it, they are like holy stones that need to be gathered, polished, and displayed as beautiful pieces of jewelry that you're proud to behold. As mothers on Tisha B'Av, you should be fulfilling the pasuk in Megillat Echa that says, Shifchi chamayim libech, nochach pnei Hashem. Pour out your heart like water before the presence of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. What are these waters that the Megillah is referring to? The Megillah tells us, Ki gadol kayam shivrech, for your ruin is as vast as the sea. Mi yirpalach, who can heal you from this pain? Chachamim tell us that he who sees the ruins in your heart, the sadness and the pain in your life, the great sorrow that's as vast as the sea, he will be the one to heal you. The Navi says, Ki gadol kayam shivrech. There are going to be moments in your life where you feel like the waves in the ocean. The waves, they want to rise up, but then what happens? They break and they fall. There are so many times you want to elevate yourself. You want to climb that mountain. You want to rise to the occasion, rise to the challenge. And then like the wave, you break and you fall. But there will come a time, says the Navi, where Kadosh Baruch Hu will compensate the waves for the sadness they feel each time they want to rise, and they fall. And the Navi says that the same God who will cure the waves of their sadness will heal your pain as well. So Kadosh Baruch Hu urges you to hold on just a little bit longer. Stay afloat aboard that ship, because very soon you're going to see the miracle of land. You're going to see the salvation appear before your very eyes. All you have to do is utilize the power of your tears. We're told that the mitzvah of Sukkot is the sukkah. The mitzvah of Pesach is the matzah. The mitzvah of Tisha B'Av is dim'ah, your tear. It says, Bacho tifke balayla. She weeps in the night, v'dim'ata al lecheya, and her tears are on her cheek. What's the tikkun of Eicha Yashva Badad? What's the pasuk that immediately follows those sad words? Bacho tifke, and she weeps. Yes, she weeps. This crying, it rectifies and cleanses so many things. And we have to know that the gates of tears were not sealed to us, ladies. So we should take advantage of this great day, and we should cry to the Ribono Shel Olam. Be'ezrat Hashem, in the zchut of all of our pure tears, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will one day tell you the words of the Navi Yeshaya. Se'i, lift up your eyes. Seviv enayich urei, look around and see. Kulam nikbetzu, they all have gathered. Va'ulach, they have come to you. Banaich merachok yavo, your sons shall come from afar. Uvnotaich al tzad te'amana, and your daughters shall be raised on their side. Which means all these children that you thought may have never returned, all those children you assume wouldn't see the light of day, will suddenly come out from the side, out of nowhere, and they will come home. They will come home. You just have to have the same faith that Yeshaya HaNavi had in the Geulah and in these children. The same faith that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has in this generation. Before we conclude, I want to make an announcement that's pertinent to all the listeners and all the viewers who log on to Torah Anytime or who have been logging on to allsara.com. And I encourage you to log on to allsara.com, by the way. The more viewers we have, the more participants we have. The more participants we have, the more we can show that to big donors and show them that there's a lot of traffic going on, and then they donate. Next week, Be'ezrat Hashem Yitbarach, I'm going to be giving a 2-part lecture on a topic that many of you have been wondering about. You see, I've been giving lectures for quite a number of years now, and Baruch Hashem, Hashem Zikauti, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave me the zchut also to be lecturing on Torah Anytime for the last 4 years. And many of you are wondering, what's my background? Who am I? So right after Tisha B'Av, Be'ezrat Hashem, I'm going to be giving a 2-part lecture titled Faith Found Me. And it's pretty much just a little summary of my life, some of the challenges, some of the accomplishments. And I want to urge every single woman to log on, whether it's to ohelsara.com or to Torah Anytime. Now, why do I urge you to tune in? Because you never know how another person's individual journey that he shares with you can inspire and impact your life in a positive way. Whatever stories that I'm going to share with you is obviously just a drop in a vast ocean, and not everything can be told for personal reasons. But if there's any way that I can bring some inspiration into your neshama, I'm prepared to do that. So tune in, Be'ezrat Hashem, right after Tisha B'Av, and spread the word to all your friends so they can tune in as well. And I would advise all of you, if you do want to tune in and you don't want to miss these 2 lectures, I would advise you to log on to Torah Anytime and click on the follow button, or log on to ohelsara.com, register over there in order to receive follow-ups. You'll be notified as soon as the class has posted. That's so important, so that you shouldn't miss these 2 lectures. It's going to be a class that's going to show pictures and psukim, so I would encourage you to actually watch it for the full effect. But if you do not have a computer, or you do not have a cell phone that has data, if you don't have a smartphone, then listening to it will also be effective. Not as effective, but it still will be. And yes, I'm going to answer your question in advance. Your teenage daughters can listen and watch as well, and I would encourage them to do so. Ladies, I want to wish you all a meaningful and introspective fast. May the tears that we all shed on Tisha B'Av wash away our pain and bring with it showers of rachamim and yeshuot. Amen. Ken, Yehi Ratzon.